We check every day how many times we have anxiety and how we dealt with it, or reaction, or we are not in peace. So that will help us to reflect upon, and by repeated practice and reflection, we will reach to a state. Oh, now what kind of anxiety is being repeated? So we can just dissolve it by the principle. What kind of a reaction, blame, and complaint is there? So those are repeated. So you become aware of that repeated reactions, blame, or anxious reaction. And when you become aware, it drops. Oh, I have done the same thing, there is no result for it. So let me choose Eastern wisdom to change myself. That is why we are doing this practice. So what about last reflection? You see that it's a beautiful reflection. So we recognize it is the ego, and that ego is an I thought, and that I thought has some expectations. That expectation is nothing but a deluded and default mind, reactive mind. So it withheld that reaction inside. So there are three layers. Those people who are extremely weak, who instantly react physically, they push, they slap, that is the physical. They are extremely weak because they are living unconsciously, they are living in ignorance, delusion, and suffering. Second layer is little less, is verbal expression. We start blaming and complaining and reacting and abusing and slashing. But we always protect ourselves that we should not be physically doing something. And the third level, that we burn ourselves mentally and emotionally. So now you see, you do it physically, it's a release, and but after that you repent on it, you say sorry, and it goes again, and we repeat it. It is repeated again and again because we are no, if you do like this, I will. Or second layer is the verbal. Verbal, we prove that you are wrong, how much you are wrong, why you are wrong, how you are wrong. Why you want to prove it? Why don't you prove to yourself? If you want to prove others are wrong, you are first hand you are wrong. But we are not aware. So lack of awareness continuously blame and complain. So very strong ego and very weak personality, physical. You see that? So second level, yeah, strong ego, but expression is verbal. Strong, very strong ego, then there are third type of people who emotionally bends, I have done so much of to him, and he is not listening. Why he is not listening? You have done so much, really? Really? So, in all the cases, the ego is there, but our reaction is different. So, those who physically slash and slap people, it becomes very difficult for them. They never come to this journey of Eastern wisdom. They said what they have done is right. But another problem is that when I'm burning emotionally inside, that is also a big problem. It accumulates, it multiplies my blame and complaint and reaction until it reaches to a point of outburst. That also it leads you to some kind of physical, mental illnesses, and ultimately we break up, our relations broken up, etc., 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 etc. So we have to access the principles of Eastern wisdom by access acronym. Let us follow it again in a different way. Why different way? Because so that you can reflect differently. And the previous practice, you have already created an impression, new reflection, you will add up to it, and it continues to add up to your practice, and ultimately we bring a change in our life. So I say access, ACCESS. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. And so, yes, awareness. A. First letter is A. Awareness of place, position, and posture. We are lighting the lamp. First, simply notice where you are, how you are sitting, and then you correct it. Awareness breaks the autopilot and brings you back to the now in the present moment. I'm just making a very clear, it leads you to the present moment. So, from the present moment, you check. Check means you become aware. You become aware. Aware of what? Aware of the place, position, and posture. Another way to just introduce a thought. No worries, don't think that mindfulness, if there is no thought, then only I'll be in mindfulness. Ask silently where I am, how is my body, and then observe the sensation without correcting anything. So what you will see, the discerning intellect will correct. Discerning intellect will 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 correct, but naturally will correct the place, position, and posture correctly. That is the key. It means it is such a natural way of doing it. Natural. What is natural way? Natural way is that we are not making any effort. So, as a seeker, we understand calm begins the moment you watch, not the moment you fix. Awareness is your first doorway that settles the crazy, default, or deluded mind in place, position, and posture. Done. And now the second is that comfort within. Comfort within, I have explained you before that we change the direction of the mind. We change the direction of the mind, and by changing the direction, we have another level of experience, or you can say feeling. What is that feeling? It is sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And how we do it? We shift from our body to inner climate. So inner climate means that inner climate, I have to I have to first be on the whole body. Be on the whole body. So whole body means on the skin of the body, on the skin of the body. That is why I say move your mind on the skin of the body. That axis, you remember the axis acronym? The first C is comfort. So, in any moment of your anxiety or reaction or blame or ego, you bring your mind back, come back, look at the entire body, let me see, and experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So, you shift from your body to inner climate. I have to first be on the skin of the body to experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Why? Now you will ask, we are settling the water. Did you understand? No. Yes, real peace is not the absence of thought, but end of inner resistance. So, what we did after all, inner resistance. What we did by shifting our awareness on the skin of the body to prevent, to prevent any reaction on the body from the mind. That is what I say. You get rid of the inner resistance. Is my mind comfortable or scattered? You have to ask. So when you ask, and then you move your mind on the skin of the body and let the thought move without chasing or fighting them. So what happens is you leave the thought and you move the mind on the skin of the body, and you feel, you experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So what happens? It loosens the hold of ego in thought, and then you can dissolve it easily. So, what I said, pay attention. What I said, we are being comfortable to dilute inner resistance of the mind through the body. I can say it is a psychosomatic awareness. If I use the psychosomatic awareness, is what sensation, comfort, and steadiness. I'm using these, complex words from the modern psychology to help you understand. It is nothing complex. So, you understand as a seeker what you stop battling, what you stop struggling softens. It allows you to change the mental state. Oh, that is what I need to change. You see that? So the next letter is also the C, the carefree detachment, if I use the word. And we already understand intellectually that this carefree attachment is to be aware of the observer in the observed mode, not a single, not a single deluded mode of observer and observed together. They got mixed up. So we are just separating. It is like the sky in the clouds. So any thought comes, any reaction. No, I'm not this reaction. I'm not this anxiety. So you see, so what it demands? It demands that should watch. I should watch, feel, and know the thoughts, feeling, and emotions are passing whether you are the sky. Directly you approach. In the state of place, position in the body. In the state of, so it means what? In the state of place, position in the body, sensation, comfort, and steadiness, you see thoughts and emotions as passing whether you are the sky. So it means we ask the mind to perceive, not to project. We are asking the mind to perceive, and so if perceived means what? There is a perceiver or observer, and what is perceived is different. If it is a perception, means if it is a perception, means perceiver and perceived, or simply say, if not, they got mixed up, and when they got mixed up, creates, either I can say creates delusion, creates ignorance, creates creates suffering, creates ego. So what we do here, we just identification with the thoughts creates suffering. Any thought, feeling, and emotion. Witnessing brings clarity. Witness means the same thing I told you. It is just separating. Witness brings the clarity. Means now we observe is different from the observer. And I can bet you when you see it this week, the observer is independent and separate, you start jumping in joy. Oh, why the hell I've been mixing them too? So how to introduce that during the day? Each time a thought appears, you silently note. Note means notice. Notice means aware. Silently note seen. Oh, it is seen. Simply you say seen and return to being the one who is watching. Means observer and the observed duo means the observer and observed duo is there, not a single one is ego, and separation you are already dissolved that ego. So you know what happens now. So what happens that as a seeker you recognize and experience and realize I am not my storm. Means I am not my anxiety, I am not my duality, I am not my conflict. So the moment you see it, see means you are aware of it, aware means that you understand it, understand means you experience it. So that what happens, I am not my storm. This realization loosens the grip of anxiety, fear, ego, and old pattern. I am not my storms. What it is, understanding, or I can say it is a cognitive change. It is knowledge. It is also awareness. Nothing else is there. Spirituality is simple. We make it so complex. Okay? So access A, C, C we have done. So it is always good in the beginning of the E word. E letter, echo the mantra. Echo or echo the mantra. You are tuning the instrument of mind. You are tuning the instrument of mind to recognize two aspects of the mind. You do not mess up that it is only one. Two aspects means observer and observed. Now you see, you don't mess up means what you why you tune the mind. You use the mantra to align your mind with its deeper reality. A mantra is more than a sound. It is wisdom repeated until it sinks from the mind to the heart, from the intellect or from head to the heart, I would say. So you simply choose Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. So you have chosen, may you invoke. You invoke, invoke the mantra Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. What is the meaning of invoking? Pay attention. You recognize the happiness within is present already. You need not to make any effort to produce happiness. That is the meaning, real meaning of Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan is invocation verse. And what is the invocation? You recognize. So you see that, and you have to follow with your awareness. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. As you are chanting, and as you are saying, may there be happiness for all, you recognize that happiness is already present as the sky behind the clouds. As sky behind the clouds. If it is there, then why it does not surface? Because it is hidden behind the clouds of anxiety. Why it does not manifest all the time? Simple answer, it is hiding behind the clouds. So we have to repeat the mantra Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. So I recognize the peace somewhere deep inside as the sky. And so, in a traditional, in a simple primary practice, those who are not a great seeker like you, so we can simply say, okay, you just do it 3 times and contemplate and reflect and stay there. No, we have to go deeper. We just recognize here and now. So, what is the Mangalacharan? Every Mangalacharan mantra gently reminds what it reminds. You are already happiness. You are already happiness. You are already peace. You are already whole. You are already enough in the spaciousness. That is the letter E, the echo. We have done the 4 letters: A, awareness; C, comfortable; another C is carefree; and fourth, when we know already, then there is an observer and observed. Why should I observe? Why should I observe anxiety? Why should I not? I should observe anxiety and crazy thoughts? I'm questioning why I should not observe the observed. What is observed here? That is the mantra. You see, it is so easy. You have to contemplate and reflect on this subject, because by default the anxiety reaction is already there. So we keep on repeating by default. Anxiety is already there. Anxiety reaction, etc., are there. How come are there? Because of default mind. Default, or whether you say because of default mind, because of ignorance, because of the delusion. So we are just, we are saying, oh, you recognize something more. And then comes the step 5, the space between. So that, that after, when we doing Mangala Charan mantra, we see the space between, and we see the space, the still, like a still lake. We sense the space between the default mind's noise, that is observed, and witnessing awareness. So we find the gap. The very gap itself leads you to a deeper state, but in the beginning, and normally, even if we are a higher seeker, it is good to repeat, just drop in that space, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Every time you see this space, you repeat it. And that repetition, what is happening is creating further new impressions, Om Shanti. So whether you do it on the breath or without breath doesn't matter. So now you see a lot of challenges also, doubts creeps in. If the thought is there, what should I do? After the thought, there is a space. Drop Om Shanti. Oh, yes. I never thought like this. After all, thought is not continuous. No, it is continuous. It means I have to go back to the first step. I messed up again. Some people complain to me, oh, how can I say I don't see this space? Really? You don't see? So let me know. I am into anxiety and my honey caused me the anxiety. Are there not 2 thoughts? Yes, there are 2 thoughts. How did you understand I am in anxiety? There is a space between I and M. M and in. in an anxiety? Is there no space? Oh, there is a space in the thought. Can you say without having a space? No. You cannot say that there is no space. So, what I'm saying is that you have a complete sentence, and after that, there is a space there, you drop Om Shanti. With the breath or without the breath doesn't make any. Here in this practice. Very well, one. So when you start draw, now you see that you can directly jump onto the fifth step. Fifth step. That is A, C, C, E. Four, and the fifth one is S. The space. You have sudden reaction, blame and complain, and you jump Om Shanti. The space is there, anxiety is gone, ego is gone. Yet we have to experience with the sixth step is the stillness in motion. We embody the observer, means embody means do you see the storm? Where is the eye of the storm? That eye is the stillness, and you embody the observer. Do you have an anxiety? Who notices? I. That I is an observer. It takes not even a fraction of a millisecond. So we carry this observer awareness into your day. So you are in a state of meditation. When you walk with you, the observer, into your relationship, decisions, challenges, events in your daily life. Life does not have to be calm for you to be calm. Just reflect on this. The life does not have to be calm for you to be calm. The observer remains untouched. It remains untouched, so it is already calm, even as everything moves. So it is the stillness in motion. That is the last test. Awareness of your body. A. Comfort with your mind. Psychosomatic awareness. Carefree detachment is the vairagya, dispassion. And in that dispassion, echo the mantra E. First as the space between in the Om Shanti, and then we move into the higher state of awareness. The stillness in motion. Stillness in motion. So we have broken the traditional approach. The last step, stillness in motion, contains that traditional approach of Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And then you open the eyes slowly and live into that state. With a statement, will I spend today in the storm or as the sky that observes all the time? And you will find out you are right. You'll find out the mind tries to return back deeper inside. How simple it is. How simple it is. Are you the storm or the sky? So Eastern wisdom shifts that quietness, that quiet, modern anxiety shifts. So see that you are not anxious, anxiety is happening in you. Yeah. So, and our ego is happening in me. Ego is not me. Why it is not me? Because I experience it. So whatever I experience is not me. It is still an object. It is still an object of awareness. I'm aware of my ego. It means it is not me, even though I use the word I. Why we are doing it? Because this I is related to I am anxious, I'm angry, I'm upset. So instead I say anxiety is arising in me, anger is arising in me, ego is arising in me. This creates an inner distance between I remains stable and anxiety is seen as temporary event, not an identity. Anxiety is just energy moving in the mind that becomes painful only when I label that I am anxiety. When I say I am in anxiety, I am is separate, anxiety is separate. It is both are the thought. What it demands only an awareness. The 75-year-old women in the previous session was saying, I had lot of anxiety and stress and suffering because my grandson is suffering. Really? Are you sure? Does your grandson lives in your heart, stick to you, attached to you, or you are attached? So if you say, no, yes, I am very much attached. So what is this attachment? Can you show me? So when I question that attachment, it dissolves. People, majority of the people, they live their life by attachment, by expectations, by delusion, borrowing the anxiety and stress of others. How can I not be suffering if my honey is suffering? Really? Are you sure? So let every man be pregnant instead of women. Let your honey do not suffer. Unnecessary, crazy stuff. If I'm concerned, if I'm aware, if I'm in peace, I can take care of others easily. But if I'm not, we continue with the old default deluded mind. So Eastern wisdom draws a sharp line between the goal of life, abiding in inner peace, and goals in life. What are the goals in life? It includes relationship with another person, my projects, my business, my job, my money, my wealth, my house, including the relationship. So when we are very clear that goals in life always remain observed. First point. Then I check my expectations with outer events, people, and relations. The moment I become aware of our expectations, then I screen it whether these expectations have to do with peace and happiness. Sometimes people have, oh, you have not given me a cup of coffee and I was sitting here and that made me crazy. Unwanted, unnecessary things. In the previous session, I asked this guy, you tell me your relationship with the honey. He said, now I'm feeling little relaxed because I got a contract of the business. I said, what I'm asking you and what you are responding. That is how you respond to your honey. So obviously you'll have a problem. The goal in life are temporary milestones, not the source of my real happiness. Same way, the peace and happiness are not produced, it is uncovered. I told you, invoke means to recognize the happiness is within me. We always recognize anxiety and ego and reaction and blame and complaint. Then there is the problem. So, peace and happiness are revealed, not manufactured. There we need a practice to remove the coverings of the past impressions and reaction as clouds. So the moment we remove, how we remove? By access method. ACCESS. Simple, I believe that you will remember this at any point of time. So we turn the life into the practice. I turn the life into practice. The moment I wake up, I do it. I enter, my mind reminds me, access. Yes, I'm there, stillness in motion. Now I'm ready. It will make you a higher seeker. Self awareness breaks the chain of unconscious reaction. It returns scattered attention to present moment. The threads of the mind is scattered in many directions because of the past impressions. We return the mind, we gather the threads of the consciousness by access method, observer and observed, and then what happens? We start living in dispassion. So I told this women that in dispassion is caring deeply without being crushed. In the state of the dispassion, I can take the right and corrective action. Otherwise, I can be in stress at any point of time. You are too far, I have lot of stress. What is happening? The war is happening. Nothing should happen to you. Where are you sitting? In US. Why you are crying? Oh, the guy is sitting thousands of miles. Unnecessary thought. I have to recognize these thoughts are not required. So many people ask me, do you see that detachment or dispassion is like a cold withdrawal? No, it is not a cold withdrawal. But here it is defined as caring without being crushed. You don't put yourself in stress and then you care. It is an active state of awareness. Dispassion is very joyful. You still feel, love, and act fully, yet you remain inwardly grounded and unbroken by what happens. Can you help anyone by being into anxiety and reaction? Give me three benefits of entering into anxiety because I have my honey who nobody cares. Why you are not caring then? Nobody cares. Unnecessary deluded thoughts we have. Detachment is recognizing that the observer of anxiety is different from the anxiety itself. It is not a cold withdrawal. It is full of love and care. Don't you see the screen cares so much of the television, whatever the movie you run? You run the horror movie, you run the romantic movie, you run the sci fi movie. The screen cares. The screen doesn't care, you can't watch the movie. The screen is extra careful that everything is clear. And we notice sometimes the dust is deposited on the TV screen and we clean it. We are not cleaning the movie. Yeah. So another point, this passion is not an escape also. It is not a cold withdrawal. It is not an escape. You are always present with it. It is a higher form of engagement, means higher level of awareness, where you can support, serve, and participate intensively without forgetting yourself. When you forget yourself, you are in anxiety. You are deluded. That is what the dispassion is. So what happens? We remember I am the sky, not the weather, not the clouds. I am the sky. I am the sky. Are you the storm or the sky? The storm comes and goes, the sky remains. So now you see the sky, clouds comes and go. There, my mind now, ego has become a ripe ego. It is not unripe now. What is this state? Stillness and motion, the last step. Stillness coming from the real self, from the observer. Motion comes from outside. What I have to do? I'm speaking to you, it's okay. Speaking is emotion. So you are meditating while you are living. Meditation while you are living. You are living means thinking and speaking and working. It's a The body, breath, mind are in motion. The real you is in stillness. That is what the stillness in motion. Think. This is, so when we live into that state is very humbling. Internally you become very soft. Very softness and gentleness and humbleness enters into your life. So the first verse from the Yoga Vasist is again the Mangalacharan mantra. It has 5 aspects: eternal purity, Sada Niramayam. Second principle explain the infinity and limitlessness. Third is beyond the space and direction. It is talking about the real nature, supreme consciousness, eternal purity, infinity, beyond space and direction, self luminosity of consciousness, self luminous, it lights itself. So, what we have to do with the four concept, I salute and one pointed. I salute to that what is eternal, what is infinite, what is beyond space and direction, what is self luminous. But my mind does not stop. Where is that infinity? Because the mind is so much focused and driven by the word of the name and the form. So let us have a guru, let us have a god, an image, name in the form of a god, Shiva or Krishna or anyone. So it demands us to think Sada Niramayam. Sada Niramayam. Sada Niramayam. Sada means ever pure. So it never becomes impure? Yes, I have to recognize that. That is the nature of a teacher. So here the teacher is not a human form. It is knowledge. Asatuma Satugama. How to recognize? I have to constantly apply the access method, repeatedly separate the seeker's identity from the body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. Huh? The young boy asked, I'm broken. I said, okay, you are broken. Do you experience it? Yes. Who knows this feeling of brokenness? The observer and observed are different. Is that knower also broken? No. Knower is not broken. And the master Vasisthas to Rama, he explains the second characteristic is the infinity. What is that infinity? Infinity means infinity breaks the delusion of limitation. I am the body, I am limited. As a body, if I am the body, then I am living at a particular place, in a particular time, in a particular age. But when there is an infinity, I expose the delusion of limitation. Without the space, you cannot have a cup. Cup, glass, tumbler means the space. So my mind looks with reference to the boundaries of the cup that I am a very small, but the space inside the cup and outside is not divided, cannot be. So it means I am beyond the world. We will go deeper, but what the first verse? De-objectify the supreme consciousness. What? De-objectify. When we de-objectify means that I am not limited by, I'm not limited by, uh, I'm not limited by the space and the direction and the time. So we de-objectify. De-objectify means I cannot be objectified. I'm subject. So Yoga Vasishtha starts with very higher level. And then you have to find out, is the sense organ self luminous? No. Is the mind self luminous? No. Because in deep sleep, the mind, if the mind is self luminous, if, then we will remain awake even in deep sleep. Mind is matter. It is not self luminous. So it means there is something deeper behind it. Ah, let attention rest not on the thoughts, but on that which knows them. There you pick up. Let attention rest not on the thought, feeling, emotions, anxiety, but on that which knows all of them. And who knows is self luminous. It can never become unconscious. That is, I, after wake up, we know that I had a sound sleep. Mind was not there, but there's something. Someone who knows that I had a sound sleep. And that knower is not affected. So if that is self-luminous, if that is not objectified, if that is limitless or infinite, if that is a pure awareness, oh, who is that? Mind cannot confuse to realize that. Okay, let Shiva is like that, Krishna is like that. So in the beginning, for the sake of sadhana and practices, we say yes. Yes, Jesus. Yes, you are. Limitless. So unless we practice this regularly, then only we can move to the higher. So what? Oh, so now what is that state where I'm in? I don't know this. So what should I do? I should learn. Why I should learn? What should be the attitude of the mind while learning? I should be open to it. And that very openness is the humility and the devotion that shows the knowledge and the reverence meet. Knowledge and reverence. Knowledge and devotion meets. It will help me to get rid of the ego. Is awareness at any time disturbed or only the contents of awareness disturbed? So I have to be very humble in order to learn. Nothing. Thought, feeling, emotion, anxiety, duality, conflict are all the contents of other. Sada niramayam anantam anantadeg madhyagocharam swayam prakash rupam tat brahma pranamya tat param. Oh, that is God. That is the Supreme Consciousness. Who is Supreme Consciousness? So I salute, I bow to that Supreme Consciousness who is ever pure, who is infinite, who is beyond the limitation of the space and the time, and who is self-luminous, who is of the nature of consciousness, and orients. Let me orient my mind as a seeker towards direct realization. How? Through humility, through salutation, and the inner turn. I have to move. So you sit down with this verse also during this. I will continue to throw some light on this. So, so when you do this, you recognize, oh yes, you recognize your ego pattern, and when you salute, you do the namaste, you have a humility. Ego dissolves in that state.